In today's fast-paced world where there are distractions everywhere and what can feel like a never-ending list of demands on your life, finding a way to think clearly can feel like an elusive goal. But that's where Stoicism comes in. And in this video, I'll take you through 3 Stoic lessons that will reshape how you approach life's challenges, helping you find peace amidst the chaos and guiding you towards a more purposeful existence. Lesson 1. Distinguish between what is in your control and what is not. This lesson draws heavily from the teachings of Epictetus, who was a prominent Stoic philosopher, and he really emphasized the importance of understanding this fundamental division between things that are in your control and that aren't. And it's this lesson that can have a profound impact on the way that we approach life, how we make decisions, and how we can think clearly. Epictetus said, "Some things are in our control and others are not. Things in our control are opinion, pursuit, desire, aversion, and, in a word, whatever are our own actions. Things not in our control are our body, property, reputation, command, and, in one word, whatever are not our own actions." See, Epictetus' words here provide guidelines for discerning between these two realms of what is and is not in our control. The things that he categorizes as within our own control are aspects of life where we have a say in what's happening, where we actually have agency, and where we can make deliberate choices or actions around what actually takes place. Conversely, Epictetus' list of things that aren't in our control, they're the aspects of life that often cause us stress and anxiety because we don't have any direct power over them. So you may ask yourself, why is this distinction so important to the ability to think clearly? And it really comes down to mental energy and your emotional well-being. Think about a job promotion. In many career situations, people expend a great deal of energy worrying about whether or not they will be promoted, how they're going to be perceived by their superiors, and what external factors will influence the outcome on whether they get the promotion or they just miss out. When you follow the Stoic principle of distinguishing between what is and is not in your control, you recognize that you can control your efforts, the quality of your work, your professional development, and even things like your attitude. These are all within your sphere of influence. By focusing on these aspects, you can make clearer decisions and make more intentional actions to enhance your chances of success. Importantly, you understand that the ultimate decision regarding the promotion rests with your superiors, and that may depend on factors beyond your control, such as organizational dynamics or the performance of other people that are also up for the promotion. Recognizing this frees you from the burden of trying to manipulate these external events, which can be a source of stress or anxiety because you know deep down they are things that you don't control. See, this approach enables you to make decisions and take actions based on your values, your skills, and your principles, rather than being driven solely by external outcomes. This can help give you a sense of clarity because you're no longer focused on variables that are external to you, things that you don't have any power to control the outcome of. Lesson 2. Practice self-reflection. Stoicism places a great emphasis on this practice, and it draws inspiration from the timeless wisdom of Socrates, who famously said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." This idea is a foundation to the Stoic philosophy, and it emphasizes the transformative power of self-reflection. See, self-reflection is a deliberative and introspective process that involves examining your own thoughts, your own actions, and your own values with a critical eye. It's a tool that allows you to dig deeper into your psyche, uncovering your own motivations and beliefs that ultimately drive your decisions and your behaviors. Through self-reflection, you actually end up gaining a profound understanding of both yourself and the world around you. You become a bit more in tune into your own biases, your emotions, your thought patterns, and anything else that may cloud your judgment and your decision making. So let's look at a real life example around relationship conflict. Imagine you find yourself embroiled in a heated disagreement with a close friend or a loved one, and you notice that emotions are running high, and you get tempted to start acting based on impulse, potentially fueled by anger or hurt feelings. Now, the Stoic approach here encourages you to pause and engage in a moment of self-reflection. This means you need to take a step back from the immediate situation and turn your attention inward. Ask yourself, why are you feeling this way? And explore the underlying emotions and beliefs that you think are actually driving your reaction. You need to think to yourself, are you reacting out of ego? Are you trying to protect your pride? Or is it a response that's genuinely rooted in concern for the well-being of the relationship? These are the kind of questions that self-reflection encourages you to ask yourself. And when you engage in this introspective process, you start to gain clarity on your own emotional reactions and the motives that sit behind them. You start to recognize patterns and behaviors that you actually have and may have contributed to similar types of situations and conflicts in the past. And when you do this newfound understanding of how you operate helps you respond a little bit more thoughtfully and constructively to the situation that you currently find yourself in. In the context of a relationship conflict, self-reflection might reveal that your anger stems from a fear of being vulnerable or of a desire to protect your own self-esteem in the relationship. Armed with this insight, you can approach the conflict with a greater sense of clarity, focusing on finding solutions rather than escalating the situation into an argument or a more heated type of discussion. What is important is that self-reflection is not a one-time exercise, but is an ongoing practice that you need to embed into your life. Through regularly examining your thoughts, your actions, and your values, you actually enhance your own self-awareness, and it contributes to more deliberate and clear thinking in all aspects of your life. Lesson 3 is manage emotions rationally. So Stoicism recognizes that emotions are natural parts of the human condition and the human experience, and they play a significant role in our decision-making processes and the way that we think about the world. However, rather than suppressing all emotions, Stoicism encourages us to examine and manage them in a very rational manner. See, it was Seneca that said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." And Seneca's quote here emphasizes the idea that our perception of difficulty often stems from our emotional response to a situation. The Stoics believe that by managing our emotions more rationally, we can actually change our perception of things like challenges and think a little bit more clearly around how we can actually overcome them. Emotions, they have the power to cloud our judgment and distort our perceptions, and this can lead us to make impulsive decisions and ultimately cloud our thinking. What Stoicism offers here is a more systematic approach to preventing this from happening. One of the best examples of this is actually looking at the fear of public speaking. This is a common source of anxiety for many people, including myself. And when faced with the prospect of speaking to a large group of people, emotions like fear, nervousness, and self-doubt, they often take center stage in our minds. From a Stoic perspective, managing these emotions rationally involves breaking them down into their rational, discrete components. You need to start asking yourself things like, what is the source of this fear? Is it a genuine threat to my well-being, or is it based on a more irrational belief or assumption, something a little bit more emotionally contextual? And when you do this, you might realize that your fear of public speaking is more rooted in the belief that you need to deliver the most perfect performance and that any mistake will lead to some type of embarrassment for you. And it's here that Stoicism encourages you to confront these beliefs with logical thinking. It's questions then that you need to really ask yourself, are mistakes truly catastrophic, or are they opportunities for you to grow and learn? Are you the only one that makes these types of mistakes, or are they things that are common and occur and are most likely going to be beneath anyone's notice? By dissecting your emotions in this way, you begin to recognize that many fears and anxieties that you actually experience are truly based on irrational beliefs or assumptions. They form part of the stories that we tell ourselves around how the world is, rather than the reality of the world that we actually live in. And it's this realization that allows you to approach situations with a clearer mindset, free from the burden of all these unnecessary emotional baggage. Now, in the context of public speaking, the rational emotional management here, it can actually lead you to think a little bit more clearly and more confidently in your decision making and in actually delivering the activity. What will start to happen is you may be a little bit more willing to accept the imperfection and focus on your message and being engaged with your audience more effectively when you're trying to bring them along on the journey. Again, what's important to call out here is Stoicism isn't encouraging you to become some type of emotionless robot. Instead, what it's trying to do is teach us to get a better understanding of what our emotions actually are, to acknowledge them, and to manage them in a way that aligns with our rational goals and values. So to wrap this one up, Stoicism offers many invaluable lessons for enhancing the clarity of thought in our daily lives. The 3 that we looked at here are distinguishing between what is and is not in your control, practicing self-reflection, and manage your emotions rationally. And when we do this, we develop more mental clarity needed to make sound decisions and live a more purposeful and meaningful life. Now, if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with other people that you think it may help. And if you want to watch a video on why it's always important to say less than necessary, please click here.